Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel where today I am going to be updating you on my reading. And I finished another book, and this time it was The Blighted Stars by Megan E. O'Keefe. This is the first book in the Devoured World series, which is an adult science fiction, space opera with a strong romantic element kind of book. But we are following our two main characters, Naira and Tarkin. I think is how you pronounce their names. I'm not totally sure. But they are on a spaceship together, and their spaceship ends up crash landing on a planet that is in the middle of an ecological collapse. So not only do they have to figure out how to get off this planet and go home, they have to do it very quickly because there's not a lot of food or anything for them to help them survive. But as they are on this planet, they learn many things that are very interesting and also have a huge impact on the wider world. And so they also have to get off the planet to share that information with everyone else. And the story goes from there. And I really liked this book. I thought that the world was very, very interesting. It was not like anything else I've read before. But it was really interesting because they have in this book you have your neural map, and then you basically just print a new body when you need it and put your neural map on it. But every time you do this, you kind of run the risk of your neural map cracking essentially, and then you're never going, that is the ultimate death essentially, because you can't be put into another body at that point. And so this whole idea was really interesting, and I thought that the author did a pretty good job of figuring out some of the implications of how people would react and how society would evolve with that kind of technology. So that was great. As for the characters themselves, I really liked them, and I actually really liked that these two main characters, Naira and Tarkin, were actually enemies, and they have reason to dislike each other, and so they have to figure out how to once they know each other is on the ship and they're part of the people who have to survive, they have to figure out how to work around this and rely on each other to survive. They both have some big growing to do just in general, and I just really appreciated watching that character growth with them. And I just really liked their interactions in general. I think that the author did a really great job kind of balancing out their different, what's driving them, their motivations. So I really like that as well. The plot itself was also just jam-packed. There was so much going on. I never quite knew where we were going, and it was fun to follow along. It was very fast-paced. It was just a really great read. Now, I will say that there are a couple things that I didn't love as much, mainly that this world and the plot itself was a little bit complicated, a little bit convoluted. And I sometimes got the sense that the author had a really good idea of what was supposed to happen or how the world was supposed to work, but didn't always effectively convey that information to the reader. So there were times where I was like, I feel like you know what you're talking about, but I don't know what you're talking about. So there were some things that I was just generally a little confused on. Now, I always got the gist, and so I was able to continue moving through the book just fine. But there are still some things that I have some questions on. So not great. And the other thing that I had issue with is because there is so much plot going on, there were times where it's just it feels meandering. So it doesn't necessarily feel like we're building to a climax. It feels like we're just kind of meandering through the plot. I will say that all of the parts that we were meandering through ended up being really important, but it just didn't always feel like we were building that tension up to a nice climax and resolution. And so around page 325, I had to take a break and it's okay. There's still There are 150 to 200 pages left, and it's going to be okay. Even though I don't know exactly where we're going right now, I'm sure it'll be okay. And it was. But it did definitely meandered a little bit. But overall, I still really like this book. I am absolutely already on the holds list at my library for the second book, and I ended up giving this 4.5 stars. And that is everything that I finished. But I did make some significant progress on Caliban's War, the second book in the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey, which is also science fiction, space opera, epic science fiction kind of stuff. I've been picking away at this for so long, and I am definitely ready for it to be over. In the last 150 pages of this, I actually did kind of abandon the audio and just read it physically. Because what I have found out, or what I am learning, is that I don't actually have a ton of time to listen to audiobooks, because there's not a lot of stuff that I do where I can listen to an audiobook at the same time and be able to divide my attention that way. So I just don't have as much time. So when an audiobook is 20 hours long, that's too long for me. And even though I do speed it up a little bit, only to 1.25. So we're still looking at 17 hours of audio, you guys. And that's too much time for me to be able to devote to an audiobook, really. And so I don't know how much I'm going to use audio for really long books like this. So I did end up abandoning the audio. It was fine. That's fine. It's been going much quicker. I only have 75 book pages left. I am so close to being done. And then the other thing I picked up is Second Night Stand by Corellia and Faye Stutz Waters. This is an adult sapphic contemporary romance. And basically we're following these two women who are in charge of their own dance troupe. One is a ballet troupe, one is a burlesque troupe, and they are on a dance reality competition show competing against each other. But of course they have the hots for each other, so that complicates things quite a bit. This is really fun. It is written by a married couple, which is also super fun. It is a little repetitive in the way that sometimes romances get a little repetitive, but it's a really quick, easy read, so I am still very much enjoying it. And that's it. Other than that, I really haven't been doing much of anything this week. It's been a lot of adult things. It's been adult things. I've been cleaning. I've been decluttering things so that things move out of my house. I went to the dentist. Adult things. And so I just haven't done as much. I mostly focused in on reading. So that was my big thing. And as for next week, I want to finish Caliban's War. I want this to just be done. I am so close to it just being done. It would also be great if I finished Second Night Stand. I think this is totally plausible because it is, again, very quick and easy read, and I'm enjoying it, which is very helpful. But this needs to go back to the library soon, so I should try to finish it. And the only other thing that I know is kind of on deck is Midnight Blue Light Special by Seanan McGuire, which is the second book in the Encrypted series. My buddy, who I read the first book with, has finished, and she let me know that it was awesome, and she would love to dive into the second book, so we will be doing that pretty soon. I don't know exactly when, but soon. And then I think I have one other book from the library that I need to read sometime soon, but I don't know. So other than these books, I have no idea what I might even pick up. And honestly, I haven't been reading it. Well, I have been reading. It feels like I haven't been reading as much, but I kind of have. It's just the books that I'm picking up are longer, so it takes me longer to get through. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next week. We'll just have to see. But that's it. That's all I've got. So if you have any thoughts or feelings about any of the books that I mentioned in this video, please leave me a comment down below. Go ahead and Hit the like button if you liked the video, and until next time, have happy reading, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!